I know the price of success: dedication, hard work, and an unremitting devotion to the things you want to see happen. Frank Lloyd Wright. My friends, 10 to 15 minutes of devotion and hard work each and every day. Dedicate yourself to this. You can do it, but you got to do it every day. If you're not willing to do that, I hope you like the sound of my voice, because that's about all you are getting. Let's jump into these charts. Everything down for the day but Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's not up much for Bitcoin. We'll talk about it when we get there. First, we'll start with the S&P 500. I'm doing this a few minutes before the exchange closes. We see right now down about 0.5% for the S&P 500. Now it's above the 200 EMA. We're hoping for a rollback, which we are seeing, going from green to red. We have now 2.5 days of down movement. As we watch things, we want to see the STC, now that it's going red, we want it to drop all the way down like it did previously, all the way to the bottom, and then make its way back up. When it does that, of course, we'll have an opportunity to jump into that up move. Now, we will continue to wait, watch and see where things are going and how it sets itself up for us, if indeed it does, to catch some of that up action. So we look at where we are on the 2-day chart. We can see that it is green. It was pushing through, at least the wick was, and now it's backtracked a little bit, that 200 EMA. It's green on the STC, green candle. We look at the weekly chart, and of course, we'll have to pull that up for you to see it bounced off back on the week. Well, it bounced off the week after it cleared the 200 EMA with the wick and then popped back up on the week beginning the 17th of October and has been moving up since then. This is another up week, reaching a higher high than these most recent prior weeks. We will see if it's going to sustain that. We did go from green to red last week on the STC, so things are moving in the right direction. We're looking to make a long trade if things set up as per our parameters and give us an opportunity to do that. Didn't happen today, so we're continuing to watch. What about the NASDAQ 100? That is QQQ. And what do we see going on there? Well, it bounced off instead of pushing through the 200 EMA, so we're looking for what? A short trade. However, it didn't go from green to red yet, so we will be waiting, watching, hoping that that does occur. If indeed it does, we'll be looking possibly to get in. Now, do pay attention where we are on the 2-day. The 2-day is below the 200 EMA. It is green, however, on the STC. We'd like for that to be turning down. We're looking at where we are on the weekly, and we can see how we, over the course of this week, the candlestick body itself has moved through the 200 EMA, and it's gone from red to green. So, and it's reaching a more recent higher high. So we will keep that in mind if indeed we decide to pull the trigger, if we have things really deteriorate hard on the NASDAQ 100. So just pay attention, watch, wait and see, and we'll make up our minds as to what we need to do on this next potential practice trade. Everything's not beautiful in this potential trade, so we'll make the best decision that we can on what to do. And always remember the prime rules of trading. First rule, don't lose money. Second rule of trading, make money. Capital conservation is important. Let's move on to 20-year bonds, down 1.14%. Bonds are very negative, well below the 200 EMA on all three of our charts, the half-day, 2-day, and weekly, respectively. That's short-term, intermediate, and long-term. Now, like I said, it's down some for the day. STC is still green. We can see where things peaked yesterday. That was Wednesday afternoon. And again, losing over 1% for the day so far. So as we watch, it's still red, waiting for, still green on the STC, waiting for it to go to red. We look at where we are on the 2-day. Now, it is green, well below the 200 EMA, but 3 strong up candles are batting against a down move. However, the weekly still negative on the STC. That's a good sign as far as the indicator goes, but of course we can see things popping up strongly this week And as we look back, the first green candle we have seen in ages, isn't it? I mean, for months, since the beginning of August. So again, that is something that would give us a bit of a concern. But again, if things rocket down hard, then we might actually pull the trigger on that. We'll wait, watch, and see, make up our minds if it presents it. If it doesn't, we don't have to worry about it. But we'll be thinking about it. Now, gold pulling back after blasting up for the last many, many days. We have a down day in gold, 0.73% right now. It's above the 200 EMA. What we'd love to do is see gold reset if it's going to keep moving up. Want to see a red STC go down through this center, little bit darker area here, reset so we can jump in for an up move since it's above the 200 EMA. Hasn't done that yet. And again, you guys can look at those charts and say, well, we could have gotten in early. You know, there's thousands of charts to trade. I mean, you don't have to take crappy trades. Follow the rules, see how they work, and realize that your opportunity to be successful is so much higher if you wait for things to set up the right way. You don't have to be stupid and take risks just because you want to push a trade. You push a trade, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to end up getting hammered. You're gambling at that point. And who wins then? The house wins. Okay, look at where we are on the 2-day. It has bumped up against the 200 EMA and is not getting through. We are up at the top there on the 200 the 200 STC. And again, just below the 200 EMA. That EMA is exponential moving average. It shows us if we're below it, we can see the trends down. If we're above it, the trend's up. Now we can see on this weekly chart where things have pushed through quite strongly. And again, this is in gold. So we'll be waiting, watching, and seeing. What I'm really waiting for in gold is for things to reset. And then when they start to climb up again, I want to jump in. Because there was no way to catch this once it took off well below and then pushed above. You don't know when to get in. You're doing dangerous things. So you want it to set up properly. It will if it's meant to be, and if it is, you take it. If it's not, you just move on. You don't get greedy. Remember, hogs get slaughtered. Now, lastly, we'll look at where Bitcoin is up for the day, 1.35% on our Van Eck Trust ETF. This is, of course, a Bitcoin ETF that you can find at any of your online brokers. You don't have to open an account at what might be a risky proposition at one of these crypto exchanges. This is an exchange trade fund, as I've said many, many times before on the show, that's been approved by the SEC and is, of course, traded on the open market. So when we look at things, and again, I want you to practice trade what you may someday really be trading. Are we practice trading this now? Of course not. Bitcoin just got hammered, as we can see, lost tons of value, billions of dollars gone. We are waiting to see if it'll make a new bottom and at some point climb up from there. Being up 1.35% right now, no way we're jumping into that. By the way, Patreon members got it out to you yesterday. You can always find all the Patreon stuff at the Patreon site. I also email everything to you. But regardless, either one of those two places, your email or the Patreon site, you can get Charting Cryptos and Commodities. Everybody else will be releasing that tomorrow afternoon before the weekly review and forecast comes out. So hope you enjoy that. We did go over cryptocurrencies and, of course, the slaughter that's in effect right now. We look at the 2-day, and again, we can see maybe we're making a bottom here. Who knows? I've said that for a long time at the 1820 mark, and it was for naught. Again, we're just waiting, watching, seeing. We can say this is another down week. Not reaching the low of last week, but again, what's Bitcoin going to do? What's the crypto market going to do? No idea. I'm guessing at some point it'll bottom out. And then when it starts to move up, we'll be watching it. And again, folks, remember, we take that chunk out of the middle. We let the bottoms, the tops, whatever it is, once we see a recognizable pattern that will work for us, we go for it. We are not gamblers. We are charting artists. We love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. cw@chartingwealth.com is the email address. Patreon members, we so appreciate you. If you want to know about options, we have a great options training available for free to our Patreon members at any 3 of these support levels. I guess that's not really for free, because if you become a Patreon member, you're paying to support our work. But we do give that out, and we so appreciate our Patreon members. We have a lot of expenses here at the channel, and we appreciate their help underwriting all of it. If you want to help us, please do so. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.